Fellas, we are back once again with the last battle of week 2, and it is the Icyridge Strikers versus Fish in Coffee to finish this week off. We have Fungus versus Magnific Note, the two representatives for each team to battle. Let's get it going. All right, here we go. We have one more battle for the week, and we are starting off with McGordles versus Gramantal Air. Now, already starting off with a swap as the Gramantal goes for a lingering poison. And yes, the Icyridge Strikers versus Fish and Coffee right beside each other on the list. And Gramantal Air was actually a later pick by Fish and Coffee, starting off pretty well as Gowat goes for the Warcry. Gowat, another late selection by the respective team. Meanwhile, McGordles was a second pick for the Strikers. If I recall correctly, however, it was actually taken in free agency after they dropped their second pick, oddly enough. But the landslide does nothing, but the Jinglark has to get hit by the lingering poison, which may come back to bite them. Jinglark will do massive damage to the monologue though, so Artifixie Mech is brought in as Jinglark goes for the trade. Mech holding a lighter gets burnt. An interesting play by the Jinglark for Icyridge. Jinglark was the first pick for the Strikers. And so far, it's a pretty evenly matched battle. We've seen already a bunch of switches. We've seen a bunch of setups, attempted setups. And we'll likely see some big damage right here. Fungus for the Strikers likely looking to get a swap as the mech goes for a massive ice move that would deal double super effective damage to Jinglark. And still waiting on Fungus. Likely stays in, goes for the aerial, but the Artifixie goes for the Corn of Cold, and Fungus just decides to sack the Jinglark. Maybe thinking of a prediction, maybe just realizing he doesn't have much else to counter this Artifixie, which might be very scary for the Strikers. Artifixie was actually a fifth pick in the fifth round, by Fish and Coffee. A lot of picks before it was taken. Here comes the Gowat once again, poisoned by the lingering poison. Seems like the Strikers might not have any counter to it. And a switch into Lurkalid as great prediction by the Strikers as they get a perfect switch finally, and the monologue is brought in against the Lurkalid. This Lurkalid will do massive damage to the monologue, which is what Fungus is trying to get. And I think Fungus really just wants some sort of momentum in this battle right now, because it has just been all Fish and Coffee. But the main issue is for Fungus, he can't get any of it out. Here comes Timothy, the Springling, who tanks the Tsunami greatly, and the Lurkalid has to get hit by the poison. The Springling is most likely faster, but Lurkalids are also incredibly fast, so we'll see. Whichever one is faster is likely to get knocked out because of a hit and run on Lurkalid's end, and literally any plant move by Springling. but just goes for the switch, not banking on the change, but a herbivore. And the Goat absorbs the plant attack. A good play there. Wonder if Fungus is trying to go for the prediction switch again. And we'll see. The mind games will be very interesting. Fungus already locks in his attack. Likely meaning he might just be staying in, going for the attack. As Magnific Note, also known as Gabe, tries to think of what to do here. And the monologue is brought back in. Psychic Ram, but rugged to hit back and chip even further on the Goat. The monologue is just tanking it easily. It's been an absolute dominant battle so far by Fish and Coffee, but this is taking a little while. They're really thinking out their moves, they're thinking out the right plays, and so far we've seen a couple good ones and a couple mediocre ones, to say the least. But goes for just another Psychic Ram, trying to just chip away. Fungus might just not see any opportunity to finish this off as the monologue goes for the landslide and has to sack the Goat. McGordles is brought in. It's poison too. I wonder if we'll see a Artifixie mech swap in or a Gramantle swap in. Either or will easily wall this McGordles. Here we go. Into the Gramantle, who absolutely just eats up the life sap. And the McGordles gets hit more by the poison than the actual life sap 90 base power attack. It's not looking good for Fungus. Fish and Coffee just are completely walling them. That's interesting to note. Icyridge Strikers, they have some pretty good doodles in the backlog. Obviously, we still don't know what the remaining two are, but it's best to assume that they get defeated by either the Springling or the Artifixie or the Gramantle. And they're no poison types. But here is the Lurklid, who has to tank the aerial and the poison, and is down to just over half health remaining. It can do good damage on this Gramantle, but will it be enough? Crunch, super effective, hardly enough. Spiky Thorns, it gets the healing, and it gets to live a little bit longer, but 2 crunches won't even knock it out. This is a fully bulky Gramantle, and I think Fungus is running out of hope here. Just looking for one simple play to get this back. This game is looking very grim for the Icyridge Strikers, who, if they fall, they will go down 0-2, while Fish and Coffee go 1-1. Tsunami, just to get a little bit more damage in, and really just try to chip away as best as you can against some pure bulk. Highland side. No discussion there yet. And it's 1:20 to go for Fungus's timer. Let's see what the last 2 doodles they have left are. Now their list. Their Score Surge, that's one of them. Absorbs the lingering poison. That's a big surprise. I am quite shocked that they didn't go for it right away to take away the poison chip, as the Goo Blast gets denied by the Artifixie mech. And the Score Surge 4 times weak to the Earth moves. This thing might have an Earthquake and might do some massive damage to the Score Surge. As for the remaining doodle, it is Ribital, who tanks the Earth Surge And this Ribital is actually very interesting. It can end up coming back and defeating those 4 available Doodles. It is completely possible, but maybe Fungus was just looking for the perfect opportunity to get it going against something that may not be able to do enough damage to it. Now, Fish and Coffee has 2 other Doodles as the Ribital goes for Rust, and the Artifixie goes for Cone of Cold. Neither are enough. Fish and Coffee still has a Tufflaze, Vigilante, Suamouse, Zerzura, Ostagon, Lumaline, a Duoff, and a Grotto in the backlog that we could see. But we will just see the Springling as it tanks the Rust very easily. But it's at half health, and a priority move could be able to do some good damage. It'll have to be enough, and it is! Fungus gets some momentum, and the Springling is down. There is hope for the Icyridge Strikers, who could make a massive comeback here. It's all up to this Ribital, and if it can do enough. Now it really needs to finish off this Gramantle. Its real weakness in this matchup here. But it has to swap out into the Scourge as it goes for Night Knight. Scourge above half health, so it should be able to survive one more attack, but it can either go into Monologue or go into Artifixie and then completely wall it. Here's the Monologue, goes for the Thunder Strike, and it's a correct prediction by Magnific Note. And Fungus, once again, in trouble. Has to swap out into Magordles, who tanks a Landslide and chips away by the poison once again. And let's see, how much health does the Gramantle have? It has 25%. The Artifixie has 35%. So, even though they're down quite a bit, this Magordles should be able to do at least a bit of damage to chip away at both of the Doodles and hopefully give some runway. Ooh, here's the Tufflaze. And the Life Sap does about 15% damage to the Tufflaze. But the Ribital should be able to do some good damage against it. And who knows, maybe the chip would be able to finish it off along with the Life Sap damage. Awakened Tufflaze coming in. The closer with the Heat Bash. Fire Candy Cube on the Magordles. It's a perfect play. Shell Crash does not get the kill. And this is really bad for Fungus, because if Fungus got this knockout, he would know what Doodle is up next, but he can't know what's up next. So he has to swap into the Ribital and keep the Magordles alive. Possibly for a safe switch. This is really looking bad for Fungus. There's not a lot of runway to make a win here, make a play. We'll see Life Sap, and it goes for the kill. It's now a 4 versus 3, but one of Fungus's Doodles is very, very low. Now, on the other hand, Magnific Note has 2 low Doodles as well, but... Or sorry, 3. But they all mesh together very well to counter Fungus's squad. A Life Sap won't do enough. A Mind Drain is immune. A Rust is not affected by the priority. So we will have to see what Fungus goes for here. Magnific Note already has the attack locked in. Goes for the Night Knight, and it is over. The Ribital is down. I'm sure Fungus was just hoping for a possible prediction play to keep things alive, but Magnifico goes for the safe play, and Fungus cannot get it done. It's Score Surge and McGordles versus the Grammantle versus the Monologue versus the Artifixie. They all have a fantastic combination of immunities that perfectly countered Fungus's team. The Jinglark didn't do real much. The Gowat didn't really do much. The Lurklid didn't really do much. Neither did the McGordles. The Score Surge really just needs a good prediction here. It's either going to be a Monologue or an Artifixie brought in. And it is a Monologue as he goes for the Earth Surge. Good prediction. And that does a good enough amount of damage, but swaps back into the Grammantle as Earth Surge goes again. Is this an enchanted Sapphire Score Surge? Is this why it can't get the coverage? And is this what's biting Fungus in the butt? I believe it is. And that's why the McGordle stayed alive. Goes for the Gem Blast. It lives, but that just allows the Grammantle to get another Gem Blast going just to finish off this Score Surge. And there's really nothing that Fungus can do. If it is indeed Sapphire, it can't go for the Spark move. The Monologue will block it. It can't go for the Mind move because the Grammantle will block it. It can't go for the Earth move because the Grammantle will block it again. And if it can't go for the Poison move because the Poison move is blocked by the Artifixie, it's over. And it looks like it will be a 4-point victory for Fish in Coffee. And that will finish the job. Earth Surge, it's no good. Gem Blast, once again, a cheeky little play as they get the victory 4-0 for Fish and Coffee. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you guys checking it out. I'm gonna try and do more of these. This is the second one, the second recording. I'm doing back-to-back of battles. This will be the third battle of week 2 on YouTube. Hoping to get more of them. I'm hoping to get at least one for every single team. Thank you once again for watching. I will see you again soon.